What's up, everybody? So welcome back to another trade recap. And as you can see on the screen, I ended up taking a loss on Friday. But honestly, I'm not really too upset about it. I feel like a lot of people, especially newer people within trading, they would have taken this as such a bad thing. They'd be so demeaned by it and stuff like that, and they would just, throw a huge fit about it. But honestly, I'm fine with it. I don't give a fuck that I took a loss, and I feel like this could be a learning lesson for someone else. But let's go over the trade and why I took this trade, why I could have taken a win instead of this unfortunate loss. You can see I wicked my stop loss and then we tanked to the downside. All right, so I called this trade out within my Discord, and if you want to join my Discord where I give out free trade call outs, do one-on-one mentorships, all completely for free, join the link. It's or join the join the Discord. The link's in the description of this video, and then you can get access to all that for completely for free. All right, so let's get into it. So my daily bias for the day, I was very bearish on the day. Okay, so first off, this is a Friday. Fridays are usually two different things for us. Okay, it's usually chop or sell-offs, which we ended up seeing a pretty good sell-off on Friday. So coming into the markets, I was pretty much assuming the fact that we're going to have a pretty bearish day. And let me tell you why. So you could see that previous day we made a pretty big move up. All right, so but also at the closer to the end of the day, we made a pretty solid move down, selling off about a little bit into equilibrium from the move up. And then what we could see is that Asia session and also during London session, we moved back up into this imbalance right here, which obviously we know that imbalances, they fill orders. All right, so market makers, they try to push price up, try to fill orders. So my entire thing was that, we might try to see orders being filled within here and then try to sell off. Okay. We can also see, I don't know what this was supposed to be because this was at 6:26 in the morning. There was no news or anything like that. We just had a huge crazy spike for some reason. And that kind of like started off all the volatility within the market. But I was assuming that we're going to market open and basically push price above that high for it to sweep out and then make a move down, creating a fair value gap and then take it lower. That was pretty much my entire thing on the day. All right, I really wanted to see us to sweep that high, but I'll show you guys in a second why we didn't. Anyway, I like I said, I was very bearish on the day. I knew we wanted to see some more orders being filled down here, sweeping some out right here. Because personally, I don't think we were going to sweep out previous day high. I just wanted to see the sweep of this high, and then just target these pretty strong draw on liquidities all the way down here, potentially filling these. All right, so let's get into market open. Let's see what happens. So market opens, bang. What do we end up creating? We ended up creating an SMT. Okay, so if we look, we swept above these highs right here, which created us that SMT, while ES failed to sweep those highs, while NQ did. And at this point, I wasn't even looking to sweep this high because to me, at this point, this is just a random wick that doesn't matter. Okay. I kind of realized it once we opened up that this is kind of just like a random wick that we spiked up to, just randomly spiked up and tanked to the downside. I kind of just didn't. I kind of just disregarded it. Didn't said whatever. Okay, so created an SMT, and then now I wanted to see potentially move higher, which we ended up seeing, which we saw a pretty nice spike up. All right. Now we created a very clean fair value gap. Okay. Obviously, what does that mean for me is a potential entry point. Okay. Let me market open. Okay, and I'll also show you guys that this was an SMT as well. So we can see um, we have this high from London session. You can see on the left side of the screen, that was our high. On NQ, we swept it out, while ES, we failed to sweep it out. So that's an SMT. Pretty much giving me all my confluences that I pretty much had for the day, was to respect this imbalance right here, fill some orders, sweep above all of these highs that we have right here, and then continue on to our draw on liquidity. Okay, and then another thing as well is we had this fair value gap right here, which we ended up creating. And you can see on the second minute, after this fair value gap was created, we retested it and moved to the downside. Now, Usually, I would take it based off the retest back into a fair value gap, but unfortunately, I just wasn't quick enough because it spiked into it pretty quickly. Okay, so and there was a bunch of volume within this. As you can see, look at this candle. We spiked up to the upside, and we're like down here before I was able to even react. So I waited for a little bit more confirmation. And I ended up taking shorts. If I'm not mistaken, I would have to look back. If I'm not mistaken, it was somewhere right here. Okay, and I had my stops above this high because of the fact that we were already making such a strong move down. I can't remember what candle it was on. Let me go back to my Discord and I'll show you guys. While I'm already here, I'll show you guys how my Discord looks. Pop it open for you guys. So this is a whole Discord right here if you guys want to join. Like I said, link in the description of this video. And so I'll show you guys this real quick. Okay, beautiful. This is exactly where I entered. So it was literally like right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, exactly right there. And I'll show you guys actually kind of something funny. Someone actually ended up sending this in later. Someone took this exact same trade as me. With the break of structure right here, we could see that he basically took the exact same trade as me and he got stopped out. But what does that tell me right there? It says, shit only happens to me, I swear. You're a fucking victim. You're playing that as a victim. Alright, this is the wrong mentality that you need to have. Okay, and I'll explain to you guys after this. So, what I wanted to see after this, sorry for getting a little off track, I wanted to target London session lows. Beautiful point of drawn liquidity for me. That was my entire drawn liquidity for the whole day. But unfortunately, I ended up being stopped out based off this tiny ass wick right here. You could see I was actually very, very close to moving my stop loss to break even and selling some contracts off. So this was going to be my point of stop loss to break even. Excuse me, I don't know why it's lagging right now. And you can see, like I said, we wicked my stop loss, and we tanked to the downside, absolutely sniping my take profit. And honestly, once this happened right here, I closed my computer. I said, all right, no problem. I'm gonna move along with my day. I went make myself some breakfast. And as I was making some breakfast, I get a notification from Discord, and I check my phone. Sure enough, people were DMing me saying, "Yo, Daniel, look at your trade." All right, I open TradingView. Sure enough, ran to my take profit. But like I said, I literally don't care. This happens so fucking often to me. This has probably happened. Like I want to say maybe like 30%, like 20% of the time of me trading, where it like wicks my stop loss and runs to the downside. Obviously, there was something I could have changed a little bit. Just having a little bit of an earlier entry, I believe, could have been a better sign for me, because obviously if I have a better entry, I'm able to risk a little bit less, which gives me the opportunity to move my stop loss a little bit higher. Okay, so obviously that could have saved me just a little bit, but unfortunately it is what it is. I'm not gonna cry about it. Like, just like you guys saw right here, shit only happens to me, I swear. You're just giving yourself the victim mentality and thinking that the whole world's against you. No, that's not how you should be treating this. This is a business, okay? The trading, you have to consider trading as a business, okay? Every single loss that you take, treat it as a business expense, okay? If you're treating every single loss as something that the world is against you, you're just acting like the victim, and you're never actually going to become successful because you're thinking to yourself that everything's against you, okay? No. Everything happens for a reason. God never makes mistakes with anything within life, okay? Everything happens for a reason, and you have to trust the Lord and know that He is in control of your entire outcome. And once you understand that kind of stuff, your path is going to be completely straight, okay? So, I really recommend you guys taking a step back. If you ever get a loss like this, I want you guys to just step back and just go for a run, all right? Get away from the charts and understand that this stuff happens for a reason. It's going to test your patience, it's going to test your mentality, and see how far you're willing to really take this kind of stuff. So that's all I really have for you guys today. And I'll see you guys within the next video. The next video will actually be in Florida, so I will see you guys in a different state. Peace out.